I just moved into this new house and I've been going through the very long process of setting up all of these tanks that you see around me. There's just so many, but I've been going through this long process of setting everything up, and there's never been a better time to do some upgrades along the way. That's why I'm very happy to announce that Inkbird has supported the channel by giving me one of these aquarium temperature controllers, and we're gonna see how this can help me and help keep the lives of all these fish nice and safe. Inkbird has sent me this for free, but they will not get to review this video before I publish it. They don't get to tell me what to say, and they did not give me any money to make this video. If it's bad, I'll tell you it's bad. If it's good, I'll tell you it's good. They just decided to send me this and just to see what I do with it. So let's go ahead and let's get into the video. So this is the Inkbird ITC 306A Wi-Fi Aquarium Temperature Controller. This is the box exactly how they sent it to me, so let's go ahead and open this. First thing inside is this user manual, and this could be very helpful because there's multiple different ways to set this up, and this tells you how to do everything. And first thing I'll point out here is that there is an app, and I highly recommend using the Inkbird app instead of doing all the manual controls on the Inkbird controller itself. While you can do everything you need to with the manual controls, it'll be significantly easier if you use the Inkbird app. Next, we have the actual controller itself, and it's got this protective covering over it. We'll just take this off. We've got a power indicator letting us know when it's working or not. There is a Wi-Fi indication on the top left letting you know when you have a good signal when you're connected to your Wi-Fi. And then we have a set button and a up and down button, and they're multi-use. The up button also says Wi-Fi and the down button says power. There's nothing significant on the back. However, I will point out that there is an eye hook on the back for you to be able to put this onto a screw or something on your wall so that you can mount this onto the side of your aquarium stand or like on a wall or something vertical, and you can have this neat and tucked in out of the way where you can easily see it when you need to. Now everything is connected here as you see, but the next thing here is these are your two temperature probes. And these are a redundant system. Because there's two of them, you're actually not supposed to spread them apart. You're supposed to keep them within a few inches together. And what it does is if one of them is detecting that your water is, let's say 78 degrees, and one of them says it's like 75, then that lets the controller know that there's a big variance in between the two sensors, and it'll send you an alert on your phone letting you know that there's something going wrong with the sensors itself. And they do come with these suction cups attached to the line that the sensors are on, so that if you were to put this in your tank or in your aquarium sump or anything like that, you can tuck these into the side and they'll stay and they won't just like flow everywhere. Next thing we have here in the box, and again everything's attached so I can't really take it out all the way, but this is your outlets. So this is where a lot of the magic is going to be happening, where you're going to take your aquarium heaters and plug them in here. You can do one or two with this model, and what this is going to do is send power straight to the aquarium heater itself. So you're going to plug your aquarium heater into here, and if these sensors detect that your water is too cold, power will go from the main unit into one of these outlets, and then it's going to go to your heater and it'll make your heater turn on. And a good thing about this too is sometimes you might have an old heater where the sensor is broken inside the heater and they're always stuck on. Those will work with this because this controller will let it turn on and turn off, and it'll just dictate when it needs to be doing that. So it's very, very useful. And the last thing attached to the main body here is, of course, the power plug, because none of this is going to work without electricity. Now just going through some of the features here, the Inkbird ITC 306A Wi-Fi Aquarium Temperature Controller comes with two temperature sensor probes, dual outlets to power two aquarium heaters, supports Fahrenheit or Celsius. Another cool feature about this is that you can remotely monitor your water temperature with a graph on your smartphone. One of the major benefits of having this system is if you ever encounter some kind of emergency in your aquarium as far as temperature goes, and you are not home, say you're at work or you're at a family event or something like that, this will actually send a notification to your phone if your aquarium is way too cold or way too hot. These sensors will let you know. This piece will connect to the internet, and it will send a notification to your phone saying, hey, something's not right, you need to come back and check this out. And inside the unit itself, there's 2 built-in relays, so in case the first relay fails, the second relay can still shut off the heater. So you're never going to have any of those situations where you have a heater stuck on and it's cooking your tank. As I mentioned earlier about this piece up here, it's very easy to mount inside an aquarium stand with this mounting hole on top, and it doesn't have to be a stand. You could put this up against a wall or a shelf, or whatever kind of cabinet or whatever you have your tank on top of. This unit comes with a 1-year warranty. 75% of the Amazon reviewers left it a 5-star review. It cost approximately $50 online, and there's actually a whole lot of other versions of this. Like this one has dual outlets, there's some that are single outlet, and there's some where they have outlets that are specifically for cooling. So you could set up a heater on one outlet and a cooler on the other. If you have axolotls, or you want to hook this up to some kind of terrarium, you can hook this up to either a chiller or a fan. The temperature controller will either tell the aquarium to start heating up or start cooling off, depending on what you have plugged into these, if you have the correct respective model for that kind of thing. So that's just a look at what this is out of the box, but let's go ahead and see it working, because we can't just review it just by taking it out of the box and saying, here's the specs. Let's go ahead and hook this into something and see how it works. So I went ahead and set up like a little test setup here so that we could see how everything works really easily. So this is like a really pretty stand and a nice rimless tank. I really love the finish of the stand, so it'd be a shame if something were to happen to it. Now that I just drove a nail through the side of my stand, I've got somewhere where I can hang this controller right here on the side where it's easily visible. Alright, let's go ahead and get some water in this. Alright, now that I got the Inkbird mounted to the side of my stand, I got water in my tank. It's ready to install these probes. And one thing I want to point out is that there's like 5 or 6 feet of cable on these probes, so you've got plenty of room. If you wanted to mount this somewhere away from your tank, you've got a pretty long way to go. So I'm just going to put these on the back of the tank here and just use these little suction cups. And let's just put this under the water here. There's one. And then let's just put the other one right next to it right there. So as you can see, I have the Inkbird mounted to the side of the aquarium. I have the 2 temperature probes inside, and the power is currently off, and I just installed the app, but I have not set anything up yet. I'm going to do that live on camera. So let's go ahead and plug this in. Okay, so I haven't hooked up the Inkbird to my phone or anything yet. By default, you can see the temperature is set to 78 degrees. But there is no heater plugged in, and it is currently reading that the water temperature in here, it's just fresh out of my tap, is 73.9 degrees Fahrenheit. Now it's flashing up here next to the Wi-Fi signal, so it probably wants me to go ahead and try to connect to the network. So let's go ahead and look through the app and see how we can do that. Okay, so here's the app. I have not looked at it at all yet. I just installed it and logged in, and this is what we're looking at. So I have no devices set up right now. No device has been added yet. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus. And here we have all of the different versions. So this is the Inkbird ITC 306A. So let's go ahead and find that on this list. And it is right here on the top, right here in the middle. It wants me to reset the device. So it wants me to power on the device and confirm that the indicator light is blinking rapidly. And I believe that it is not. So let me go do that real quick. Okay, so I just reset the device. The indicator is flashing, so we're going to go ahead and click yes. Alright, so now it's asking to log into the Wi-Fi. Let's go ahead and insert my password, which I copied already. And all of this is going to be blurred. You guys are not hacking my internet. So here we go. Here's the home screen of the app. You can see the ITC 306A version 4 is displayed right here. So let's go ahead and click on that. And now we can see it is currently reading 73.9 degrees, which that is exactly what the device is reading off the display. You can see it's currently heating right now. So if you look down here, the temperature is between 77 and 78 degrees. That's the target. Because we're much lower than that, the Inkbird is trying to heat the aquarium. It is sending power through those outlets to turn on the aquarium heater and let that thing run. Now there is no heater plugged in, so it's not going to do anything. And a really cool thing about this is if you come here, you can look at the graph, and there won't be much here for me. Yeah, okay, so there's no history for me because I just set this up. But normally what you would see here is a nice display of how long this has been hooked up and if you see any fluctuations. So I'm actually going to just leave this overnight just to try to see if I can't populate a graph to see what it looks like. If it goes up and down at night, I'd like to know. This room is temperature controlled, but it does fluctuate. So maybe I could see some of those fluctuations in the graph, and that might tell me, oh, maybe I need to heat a little bit more or less. So we'll see. But now that I have a graph and I can actually watch that, that's really cool. But let's go ahead and look at some of these settings. So I've got temperature set to Fahrenheit by default. It looks like it's calibrated 0.0 degrees Fahrenheit. The high temperature alarm is set to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, I don't know about you, but if my water's 212 degrees, I've got a serious problem. So we're going to lower this. We're going to go with like 85, I think. I think all my fish will survive around 85, but if it's at 85 and my heaters are definitely set lower than that, then I'm going to have a problem. And then low temperature is 32. That's also way too low. So we're going to set this to be 70 degrees. So I don't think there's any situation in which the water temperature is going to be below 70 degrees here. But if there is, I want to know. I might adjust these in the future to be maybe a little bit lower high temperature and a higher low temperature, but we'll see. So I'm really thankful for this. Thank you so much, Inkbird, for sending this out to me and letting me get to try this out. I know I've had it on my wish list for a long time, and it's really cool to be able to get my hands on one of these. And I definitely think I'm going to be getting a couple more. Yeah, I got this one for free, but I'm probably going to buy like 3 or 4 of them. Because now that I have this, it's going to be set up on my big display tank. I'd like to get this set up on a bunch of my other tanks just because, I mean, it's honestly just a peace of mind. If I'm away from my home, if I'm at work or whatever, I'd really like to know if something is going wrong in the fish room. And now I've got like remote cameras and everything set up, but they can't tell the temperature of things. But it's going to let me know if there is a problem. And if there is a problem, the sooner you know about it, the better. You know, I might be able to get back home quicker and know that there's a problem that I can go and fix right away. So again, I'm really glad that I got this. Thank you so much, Inkbird, for sending this to me and letting me try it out. And guys, if this ends up not working in the future, I'll let you know. So far, everything seems so good. It set up pretty easily. One thing was I just had to make sure my Wi-Fi, I was connected to a 2.4 gigahertz signal. Most Wi-Fi routers already have that set up. So that was no problem. So I hope you guys got something out of this. If you're interested in this Inkbird or any of their other products, like I said earlier, there's a whole bunch of variety of different types of Inkbirds out there. Whether you're running chillers or fans, or if you're using this in a terrarium or something like that, there's probably an Inkbird product out there for you. If you're interested in getting one of these for yourself, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the video description down below. You don't have to use my link, but it might throw back a couple pennies my way, and you know, anything helps, you know, supporting the channel. But that's all for this one, so thanks everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.